According to the National Institute of Statistics and Census in Argentina, economic activity grew by 4.5% year-on-year during October, although it showed up a drop in the intermonthly comparison. Let's see in the following report what the experts said on the possibility of sustaining the reactivation of the economy in the South American country for the next year.
For economist Ernesto Matos, it is essential to look at what is happening in the world to analyze the possible scenarios that could occur in Argentina.
The world economy, mainly during the year 2023, is expected to see a rise in interest rates in at least central countries. In this case, the US and Europe. The difference is that the US, in addition to raising its interest rate, has implemented a policy to lower inflation that has to do with the transfer of subsidies. In this case, many of the North American companies linked to the metal, mechanic and steel industries are receiving large amounts of subsidies that tempt European companies to stay in this country.
And in this context, according to the expert, the measures taken in order to face the price increase will play a key role.
We are in a year of high inflation, loss of purchasing power. In the case of commodity prices that would explain a little of this rise in prices, there is a perspective in which the climatic events, such as drought in areas where there is abundant rain, are complicating the crops. In addition, the areas where there are war conflicts are affecting other regions. It is the case of at least 2021, when Latin American countries such as Brazil and Argentina were one of the main exporters to Africa, given the cut of supply of wheat from Ukraine.
In addition to internal factors, the external ones will continue to have an impact on the pace of the Argentine economy.
Regarding the outlook, we have to take into account that on the one hand, Argentina, like other countries, is very vulnerable to imports in order to grow and produce. In that sense, we are somewhat in the bottleneck regarding the amount of dollars available for that growth. We were able to overcome an important crisis in the middle of the year with the untimely departure of Minister Martín Guzmán, and the reserves were stabilized and increased little by little. The coming year will depend to a great extent on the accumulation of reserves in order to continue this growth process.
Investment and the implementation of more policies, such as fair prices, will be decisive according to economists.
The extension of fair prices for the whole year 2023 is an important measure because it allows, on the one hand, that wages do not continue to shrink at the same rate as inflation. And this also impacts on consumption, a relevant factor of the aggregate demand that represents approximately 70%. Probably what we are witnessing is a lower growth, but with lower inflation. What I understand is that the economic policy is trying not to stop growing, but at the same time to control the inflationary process.
In addition to these situations, there is the electoral setting, since the presidential elections will be held in Argentina in 2023. Carolina Silvestre, TeleSUR, Buenos Aires.